Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than never. The would-be judges, the 144,000, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners, among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And I want to open with this. This is Habakkuk 2 and 16, and it reads, Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory. So America is basically the laughing stock of the world. The Israelis are the gag point of the world, where people are completely it's a word that I'm looking for. It's not just sick of, but people are utterly disgusted with their behavior and what they're doing. All right, these genocidal, murderers and maniacs, and screaming victim the entire time. When you have all the guns, all the bombs, all the oppression of law, money, and power, but yet somehow you're still the victim. And if anyone speaks about it, you get slammed with the anti-Semitic card. Go straight to jail, can't pass go. All right? How dare you point out my murder? How dare you point out my land theft? How dare you point out that I'm not who I'm claiming to be? Anti-Semitic. And that's pretty much what they're doing. So I'm going to play, portions of two videos. This one being of William Mount, a former colonel in the, I think he was an intelligence officer in the Air Force. And some of the things he's on point with, some of the things he's bugged out, because he believes in the Nephilim and, all this other stuff. It's like guys like this is when it comes to the news, just report the news. This is like I like to watch The Patriot Nurse, but and she's really good at collecting information and reporting on current events, and she's very biased. She's very biased toward instead of being fair with it and straight up the middle, she's very biased toward America. Like America is actually a good place. That America wasn't established on rape, robbery, murder, and genocide, and as if that didn't happen, as if your forefathers were actually good people, the American forefathers. So she's very biased with it, but she still gives good reports on news overall. All right, so does this guy. But when they start talking about the Bible, they're coming with that hateful, and don't even know it, because they think that they're being loving Christians, and so and they clearly don't have an understanding of the scriptures. They have the very fraudulent belief that Christianism has forced upon the world. All right, so people like this, they just need to stick to reporting the news and shut up, talking about the Bible. But without any further ado, Dr. Colonel William Mount, and I'm gonna let it play for just a few minutes, and then and then bring out some scriptures. So here we go.
Nothing. So Zelensky runs to Europe. Apparently, when Zelensky met with Trump, he had already given away the mineral rights, which wasn't worth 500 billion. It was only worth 20 billion. Russia said there's only $20 billion worth of minerals here. And so Zelensky had already given that away when he met with Trump. So he's a double-crossing fiend wearing the Nazi symbol, which is actually the Ukrainian symbol, the triad.
Which is also the Khazarian symbol. The ancient Khazars use that symbol that the Nazi Ukrainians wear, which the Israelis in America were supporting, through their NGO lobbies. In America, it's completely controlled by NGOs, and most of them are Jewish ran, including most of the court systems. All right. Most of the things within the court system. As a matter of fact, Title 4G is an NGO. It's a non-government organization that operates with, and basically controls policy here in America. Same as the IRS, and the same as the Federal Reserve. No one voted for these people, the American citizens. These are outside entities that have control within your, and actually dictate policy in your government. All right, so this is very shameful. And, and Esau's constantly at this point telling on himself. Let me go to Job 15 and 6. And it reads, "Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee." All right, so let's let William Mount testify against his own people. All right, because despite whether you're Republican, Democrat, American, or European, you're all the Edomites. And a house divided cannot stand. And we're watching the fall, because the name of this video is The Fall. The deep state is falling apart. Trump cut off their money. All right. And then he puts entertainment. You have to do that. I guess that's how he's getting, because they, he disappeared for a long time. I didn't know where this guy went. And someone hit me to him. And he's back up under William Mount. I forget what the title of his last channel was, but he's got 167,000 subscribers. So people are watching. That's a lot more than he had in the beginning. So, people are waking up to the cabal, to the lies. But here we go.
An AZI symbol. It's also the Ukrainian symbol. Rout the Nazis out of the Ukraine. The Ukraine is built on National Socialism.
So that I just find that so funny that, that America and the Israelis, especially Israelis, would support Ukraine the way they do, and so it brings some light to these new ChatGPT breakdowns, these new AI breakdowns and translations of some of the Adolf, the man whose last name starts with an H, speech. And some of his speeches, and how we've been lied to about his role. The facts aren't adding up. I'm not saying he was a good guy or I was for him, anything like that. He still was an Edomite, so he definitely was my enemy. But it just turns out that we've been fed a lot of malarkey when it comes to him, and their own devices are telling you that, and not I. Matter of fact, let me read that again. And I just find it strange that they're supporting Nazism, through this Ukrainian war, through this proxy war, which America is funded, and the Israelis also help support. They don't seem weird to you, all right? So something's not right. This is Job 15 and 6. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yeah, thine own lips testify against thee. So keep telling your people, William. Go ahead, bro.
So apparently he had already given it away. So President Trump says, I want to know where the $350 billion went to, because Zelensky said 58% of it never made it to the Ukraine. And what did make it to the Ukraine, only about 10% of that went to the troops. The rest was equipment sent to the Ukraine, sold around the world, and the people in the Ukraine pocketed the money. So Trump wants a full accounting of where the money went to and from through the Ukraine.
Damn.
And according to the Prime Minister of Poland, it went into the hands of the Democrats, who wear Ukrainian flags and wave the Ukrainian flags and say, "Go Ukraine, go Ukraine, go Ukraine." They all got paid. We mentioned how much Biden got 91 million, Pocahontas got 71 million. Shall we go on?
Damn. So Pocahontas is he's referring to Kamala. All right. Wow.
Anyway, so Zelensky refuses peace because if there's peace, the money won't roll in and he can't pay the Democrats off to get more money, more money, more money. Well, that's the problem. Sorry, they're still spraying us with something. So the head of NASA, you need to shut down the 55th and 60th Air Wing.
Damn. So the 55th and the 60th Air Wing, he just dropped the nugget there. The 55th and the 60th Air Wing are those are the Air Force units that are responsible for the constant spraying because it's raining right now, and I had headaches out of nowhere every time when it rains, when it snows. Yeah. So it's whatever they're spraying, So now we know which air wings they're coming from because of this former Air Wing, Air Force colonel here. All right. And how also he just dropped the information that the money would stop rolling in to Zelensky if the war stops. The same way that Benjamin Netanyahu needs the war to continue in Israel, because if there's peace in Israel, all right, obviously he has to go and face those courts, all the allegations and the criminal charges that he was under and being brought up against. Remember, this is Benjamin Netanyahu is a wanted war criminal. And many European, NATO, EU states, he's a wanted war criminal. So that's so you won't find it strange too now that the NATO and EU are now against or enemies of America. See how what a difference a day makes, and yet you still have people prophesying, saying that there was going to be peace and stability. There's going to be no Jacob's trouble. No, World War III and Jacob's trouble go hand in hand because things fall apart here in Babylon and it's going to be utter chaos. This is Jeremiah 23:16. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you, that make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart and not out of the mouth of Yahweh. And, and so that being the false prophets of Israel, these fake camps, especially the ones who deny Jacob's trouble and really don't speak of prophecy. They speak of, continuing here and building in America, those guys. And the same thing with the false Christian prophets, just liars, not proper judges, not speaking the truth. All right. The judges in America are a joke. Matter of fact, that makes me think about Habakkuk 1:4. And it says, therefore law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked do compass about righteousness, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. So wrong judgment proceedeth out of the courts of America, out of the political platform of America, continually.
And Europe has decided to pay Zelensky, but hasn't paid him a dime. You see, it runs about $1 billion a day to keep that conflict going. $1 billion.
Wow.
So the United States has kept it going since 2014. Do the math. 1.5 trillion.
Wow.
Not 350 billion. But that was a loan.
So it's just like he said. He just said it was a loan. And this is the way that the oligarchs get super wealthy. Not to mention all the criminality that was done over there, with those people. I just watched a video when a guy was talking about, matter of fact, let's see if I have it. How Hunter Biden, he went into all the things that was done, all the information that was on his computer. He called every drug dealer. He called every prostitute. He interviewed all the people that he was dealing with. And basically, Hunter Biden did everything. What P. Diddy is locked up for right now, Hunter Biden is guilty of. What R. Kelly is locked up for right now, Hunter Biden is guilty of. All right? And much worse. Let's see if it'll. Yeah, there it is. Where's the sound? It's like there's no sound all of a sudden. The frick is the sound at? That's weird. It's signing me in with no sound, but here, look, let me see if I can just let it play without sound then. You can just see it. Wow. You have to read on this one, people. So basically, he shows you that R. Kelly, P. Diddy, and Ghislaine Maxwell, all three of them are locked up right now for the very same crimes that Hunter Biden did, but Hunter got pardoned. All right, and Hunter's was, I don't know about Ghislaine Maxwell's, but his what he did supposedly is way worse than Diddy and R. Kelly's. But once again, Maxwell, Kelly, and Diddy Combs are locked up, and Hunter Biden's probably somewhere sniffing coke right now. But clearly, the Lord has a bigger and worse punishment for him. That's why he's being preserved.
Zelensky promised to pay back, and all of a sudden he ain't going to pay it back. Well, so we have a problem. The Eurozone is falling apart. We'll tell you why in a minute. So the only option they have is WAR with Russia. Russia will overrun Europe in 2 weeks.
And see, that's not going to happen because Europe is going to join unto Russia. That's the obvious. Europe doesn't have the army or the defenses to fight against Russia, just same as Ukraine. Russia was being merciful toward the Ukrainians. Now, I think they were only using about 5% of their military, 5 to 10%, if that much. And because they didn't want to utterly wipe out Ukraine, they just wanted their territory back. America speaks as if that was not Russian territory, and it was. And the fact that they, is real simple, man. It would be like, if Russia was to set up missile batteries and military outfits in Canada and Mexico. What would America do? They would respond. Well, that's why, and so they'll keep talking about Russia invaded Ukraine, and they never give the true narrative that they were trying to move NATO into that area, and Russia said absolutely not. That's what this really comes down to. So you're always getting the wrong judgment, lies here in the West about what's really going on in the world, and then people are so stupid and uninformed. We're going to show you how in the next video. I'm going to show you how stupid and uninformed your leaders are, including your president. There really is no one wisdom left in teaming. It's clear that I know more about geopolitical situations in countries than the very president right now. We're going to prove that in a few moments. Here we go.
England said, we're going to put troops on the ground and airplanes in the air. Well, the problem is 2/3 of their fleet is in port. Most of their airplanes are broken, and they don't have enough military to contain London.
Wow.
So they don't have any military to send there. They spent it all on illegal aliens. Just like France and Germany. Their economies are falling apart. Only it wasn't them that spent the money on illegals. It was we, the American public, that gave England money to the GMOs. Or not the GMOs, the
NGOs.
Those corporations. It is we, the taxpayer, who have been funding the immigration into Spain, Portugal, Italy, Germany, England.
And that makes sense. So America has basically destroyed its allies, Europe, the EU. All right. Same way they brought all those people here into America. And that was through the Democratic Party, which people seem to just like not want to talk about right at the current state. So there is no wisdom. These people are destroying themselves. You know, let's read that scripture again. Or not again. I think I haven't read that one yet. It's Jeremiah 49:7. All right, because Europe doesn't have the ability to fight Russia. So it's beyond obvious that they're going to, and that's what fulfills scriptures. And then the dragons of Arabia are going to join and come into this fight because the Israelis are stirring up the pot in Western Asia and with Iran. And that whole situation is going to ignite and draw the whole world into it's about to go down. This is Jeremiah 49:7. And it reads, concerning Edom, thus saith the Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Clearly their wisdom is vanished because they're doing things that are destroying themselves. And it's an embarrassment. All right. And I find it comical. We here, the men of the Lord, we're being entertained by that downfall. The scripture said we will mock. So not only are we reporting on this, but we're mocking them. All right, they're making dumb decisions that's bringing them to naught, and they don't understand that it's the Lord doing this. It's the heart of the king, meaning the mind. All right, is in the hands of the Lord. He's guiding them to make the decisions that they're making that keeps putting them in perpetual war, that keeps making them lose money, and they have to cut this and cut that and make people suffer, and until their people rise up against them and start burning down their city halls. All that's coming, man. But here we go. Danny Hafong and Pepe Escobar.
Fact, not based in evidence whatsoever. But he needs something bombastic to say about it. But he doesn't understand it because exactly his team is not explaining to him the geopolitical and geoeconomic relevance of all these mechanisms, new corridors of communication. You go to any forum here in Russia or any debate, high-level debate, always the main geoeconomic theme is new corridors of connectivity. All of them.
New corridors of connectivity, meaning making deals, willing and dealing, and with your allies and making peace with your enemies, so that there isn't war and everyone could kind of prosper. That's what the Russians are doing. And the BRICS nations, which you're going to see how stupid the Biden, not the Biden administration. Well, they're nowhere near geniuses either. But how stupid your current president is when it comes to geopolitical situations. He doesn't even know who his enemies are.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is anybody in the U.S. think tank land discussing corridors of connectivity? Maybe one thing.
No.
I mean,
absolutely not.
They're not discussing anything of worth when it comes to infrastructure development at all.
There you go.
Oh, I gotta read it again. This is shameful spewing on that glory, man. It really is. Gotta read it again. Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory. And man, when the Lord's right hand physically, he's already turning things up, but when he shows up, and you're being shamed and embarrassed.
Trump says a lot of threats to BRICS. A lot of people are very impressed with the way Trump is talking, how it's treating Europe.
And that shows you how stupid his supporters are. These people who are impressed with him. Because you're about to see how uneducated your president is on the geopolitical situations that he's making decisions upon. as America and Europe and the whole world are on the verge of the Third World War.
In terms of the sake of for realism and a realistic understanding of what's actually going on, I think these comments actually matter. First, he thinks Spain is part of BRICS. Then he says this about
Wow.
China.
BRICS, the BRICS nations, I think that's breaking up very rapidly. We said that if they're going to go and do anything to
So that's just him utterance of the BRICS nations are breaking up. Where the fuck is he getting that from?
undermine the dollar, that includes China. I don't even know that they're a member of BRICS. I had a few nations get together to try and play cute.
Wow.
Trump doesn't know that China is a part of BRICS.
Wow.
C in BRICS is probably if
Sitting up on the couch, smart than a dumb motherfucker. Look, man, China is like the head of BRICS. This guy there really is no wisdom left in teaming, man. Yeah, you heard it. That's what you really heard. Pepe Escobar, Putin's BRICS truth bomb exposes Trump's gamble as Europe falls apart. And this is why the nations shall hate the whore, man. American policy has destroyed Europe. It has destroyed NATO. It has destroyed the EU. While they send billions and support the Israelis, who are also doing the same thing in the region of Western Asia that they fraudulently call the Middle East. This is Jeremiah 51:9. And it reads, "We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go up into her, and let everyone go into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto the heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies." All right? So, that's why it says, "And the nations shall hate the whore, and they're going to burn her with fire." So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kwadash, Kwam, Yasharala, Abad, Babal. Look at the smirk on his face. He's laughing at Trump. Shalom.